This is Unit Inequalities, Student Handout 2, and it is solving one-step inequalities. All right. Inequalities can be solved just like an equation, but with a few exceptions. So they can be solved just like an equation, except with a few changes, okay? All right, so one-step inequalities, the goal when solving an inequality is to isolate the variable. That's the same thing as the equation. You want to get x by itself or y or whatever variable we're talking about. Step number one is to isolate the variable by using the inverse or opposite operation. Same thing you've been doing. If it says positive 3, it says 3 plus x, that's a positive 3, so you subtract 3. Same thing, okay? All right, number 2, the inequality must remain balanced. Whoops, sorry about that. Which is the same thing as the equation. Whatever you do to one side, you do to the other. That's all that means. Number 3, when you multiply or divide by, this is the difference, okay? Let's put a big star right here. This is the only difference between this and an equation, okay? All right, when you multiply or divide by a negative, so when you multiply or divide by a negative, not subtract, not any, just multiply or divide by a negative, then the inequality sign is flipped, okay? And we're going to show you some examples down here at the bottom. All right. Number 1 says solve each inequality, check your answers, and then graph the solution. Okay, so let's solve this problem. You got to take this to the other side. How are we going to do that? We are going to subtract by 5. Whatever you do to one side, you do to both. Okay, those go away. You're left with n is less than or equal to 16 minus 5 is 11. That is your answer. N is less than or equal to 11. Okay, let's go ahead and check our work. So we're going to plug 11 where n is. Okay, so 11, and then just copy the rest of the equation or inequality. Plus 5 less than or equal to 16. 16 is 16 less or equal to 16. Yes, it is. Okay, so that works. It's not less than, but it's equal to, which means it works. Check. All right, so let's graph it. Again, you can count by ones if you want. It's fine. Okay, it is equal to or less than 16. So remember, equal to is a closed dot. Okay, less than goes left. L's go left. Okay. Number 2, we're going to add 8 to both sides. Those cancel. You're left with C is greater than 22. You got to plug 22 back into the equation to check your work. 22 minus 8 okay. Okay. Oops. Coach Portman. All right. Why does that work? Okay. Because it actually should have been a line under that. All right, this equation was wrong, okay? All right, should have been a line under that the whole time. Teacher error, okay? All right. Now, does 14 greater than or equal to 14? Yes, it is, okay? So go ahead down here and graph it, 22. All right. It's going to be a closed dot. It is greater than, so it goes to the right. Okay. All right. 12G is less than 48. Divide by 12. You're going to get G is less than 4. Okay? To check your work, you don't plug 4 in there. Okay? You plug any number less than 4. Okay? Because G is not 4. It is anything less than 4. So let's pick 3. 3 sounds good. So it's going to be 12 times 3, because we're picking a number less than 4 to plug back in there. Okay, is less than, what was 48? 12 times 3 is 36. Is 36 less than 48? Yes, it is. Check. Okay. All right, so let's go back and graph that. It's an open, well, first of all, we got to put our numbers. 4, 5, 6, 3, 2. It's an open dot on 4. Why is it open? Because it's not, that's really not there. There you go. Okay. And it is less than, so less than goes to the left. Number 4. How do you get rid of that 3 on bottom? That is P divided by 3. So what is the opposite of division? Multiplication. Those go away. P is greater than 27. So to check your work, you pick any number that is greater than 27. I'm going to pick 30. Why am I going to pick 30? Because it is the divisor of 3 and we're dividing by 3. Okay, so 30 is the number I picked. It is greater than 27 divided by 3. Is 10 greater than 9? Check. Yes, it is. All right, so let's go graph our problem answer right here. 27, 28, 29, 26, 25. It is a open dot. It is greater than goes to the right. All right, what observations can you make about the problems above? So go ahead in your brain and see a pattern that you noticed or something that you saw, and jot down a quick note to kind of help you remember that right there. Okay. All right, second page. Inequalities sometimes involve negative numbers. Remember, when multiplying or dividing by negative, only when you go across the sign, by the way, I'll show you in a second, be sure to flip the sign. All right. So we have to divide right here on number 5 by a -4. Okay? We have to do it to both sides. So when you divide or multiply both sides by a negative, watch what I do. Okay, we're going to divide by -4. Okay. These go away. You're left with K. Now watch what I do right here. All I did was flip it because I divided or multiplied both sides by a negative, so I flipped the sign. Okay. 22 divided by 4 is -5.5. Okay, so to check our work, we pick any number greater than or equal to 5.5 to see if it works. I'm gonna pick 6 because I don't like 5.5. Okay, so we're gonna do -4 times 6 is that less than or equal to 22? So notice my problem went back to my original problem, okay? I didn't keep the sign flipped over here when I checked it. I did for the answer. The answer stayed the way I had it, okay? All right, let's work it out. -4 times +6 is -24. Is -24 less than or equal to 22? Yes, it is. Absolutely. All right. So we're going to do -5.5. Now, when you draw the graph, make sure you understand that you're on negatives. So look how my numbers are going, and it's because we're on the negative side of 0. All right, so it can be equal to, so we're going to put our closed dot. And it is greater than goes to the right. Number 6. S divided by -2. So how do we get rid of that -2? We multiply by -2. Alert, alert, alert. We went across the sign and multiplied or divided by a negative. So what does that mean? We flip the sign, okay? We've multiplied or divided across the line by a negative. So we flip the sign. All right, you're left with S equals -10. So S, not equals, S is less than -10, my bad. All right, so to check our work, we're gonna pick any number that is less than -10. So -20. Divided by -2. Is that greater than 5? -20 is less than -10? Yes. -20. Would you rather have -$10 or -20? -20 is not as good. So it's less than. All right. -20 divided by the -2 is a +10. Is +10 greater than +5? Check it is. All right, so let's go back and graph our solution. Is there an equal sign under there? Nope. So it's an open dot on -10. I didn't put my numbers, my bad. There we go. All right, it's an open dot. Like I said, it is less than goes to the left. All right, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Here we go. You're going to divide by a -7 right here. Alert, alert, you divided across the line by a negative. What happens? You flip the sign. Those go away, you're left with x equals -5. Let's graph that. Oops. Oops. There we go. All right, -5, it's a equal to sign, so we're going to close that in. And it is less than, so less than goes to the left. X is less than or equal to -5. There you go. Okay. Add 16. You did not multiply or negative across the line by a negative, so don't change the sign. Leave it as is. You're left with x is less than 27. Notice how my numbers got bigger going to the right. Same thing on the negative. They're actually getting bigger. Okay, remember negatives are reverse, okay? All right, so it's open dot on 27 because there's no equal to part. It is less than goes to the left. All right, it's kind of a flip-flop right here, but that's fine. We can work it out that way, not a problem. Subtract 10 from both sides. X is less than or greater than, is less than or equal to -2. Yeah, they want to do that actually. So it can be like this. Or for some of you in your head, you can go ahead and flip it and you're okay with that. And if that's okay with you, that's okay with me. Okay? All right, so let's go ahead and graph it. It's obviously going to be a -2. It is a closed dot because that equal sign. And it is X is less than -2. Okay, if this arrow comes towards the variable, then it is less than. Pac-Man eats the bigger one. So -2 is greater than X. Okay. What do we need to do? That's X divided by 8. So what's the opposite of divided by 8? Now, notice I did not alert. There's no need to. We did not go and multiply or divide across both sides by a negative. Okay? Just because that -3 is already negative don't mean anything. Who cares? Okay? All right. So 8. Oops. All right. Left with X is greater than -24. Oops. All right, -24, -23, -22, -25, -26. Open dot on -24. How do I know it's open? There's no equal sign underneath it. And it is greater than goes to the right. (6x) divided by 6. Those go away. I'm left with X is greater than or equal to, that's a big number, but I believe it is -18. They're giving us a whole lot of negatives. I don't know why they're doing that. All right, -18, -17, -16, -19, and -2 zeros. All right, it's a closed dot on -18. It is greater than goes to the right. And the last one for today, subtract 7. X is greater than or equal to -22. Again, if you're one of those people that can kind of go ahead and flip it in your head, okay, either one of those answers is right. It doesn't really matter. All right, -22, -21, -20. Okay, it's a closed dot on -22, and it is greater than, so it is going to the right. X is greater than, the Pac-Man's eating the X, so the X is greater. All right, that is it for today. We will see you guys on the flip side.